Welcome to another episode of the Black Outers Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Sunday doing feedback. Normally do Saturday, but we took the day off. Had a lot to do. You know what it is. The official weapon of the show is
folding chair.
And the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme. Feedback is where we talk about the things you had to say about the things we had to say throughout the week. We did 3 episodes last week, including our feedback show. And you guys left comments and emails, voicemails. You sent us something off our Amazon wish list, I believe. So, you know, we're going to just give you guys all the props and all the praise today because we appreciate y'all appreciating us. You know? It's a very symbiotic relationship we got going on over here. The first people we need to shout out, though, is you can go to our website, theblackguywhotips.com. And for absolutely nothing but a shout out, you can just be like, hey, I would like to put some money on y'all books, okay? You can turn your phone to the sideways, look on the right-hand column, or you can go on a computer, and it's like, hey, do you want to, like, support the show? And you can choose any amount, any recurring, one time only, it doesn't matter. We just give everybody a shout out for doing that. And so we appreciate y'all that much. Matter of fact, let's do it right now.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tithe to the Black Guy Who Tips.
That's right. New dough, new new ho ho ho. It's Christmas time. Tyrone M, thank you very much. Dorothea S, thank you very much. Jason F, Waist Beads by Sura, thank you. Michael Irvin, the Playmaker. Mary H, Stefan H, you know the H's always come through as a family. Michael F, Allison H, Deborah O, Jeff M, Corey B, Jonathan H, J Full, Nicole F, waiting on my computer to load, but thank you everybody. Mako H, should have known it was an H. Early Days of Photography, Michael W, Marvin B, yes, Marvin B, Asia D, Chriselle B, Don G, Annie P, hope you're okay, David from Brooklyn, Michael S, and Tom W Jr. Thank you everybody that took the time out to put some money in our pocket. I feel like he went in the church and recorded that with a live band,
Of course,
because it feels so live to me. We got 1 5-star review. That's right. We appreciate them. It don't have to be a lot of them, but we appreciate the ones that come through.
We do.
Public Intellectual from Cheesy Mac, who says, "Greetings, goats. I sent an email and I had to come back and send this review. The two of you have dropped gems with this feedback episode. One of them being so many people chase the whitey validation and can't relate when you don't have those aspirations because you validate yourself first. I won't drag this out because you do a great job of reading our long, lengthy comments. Thank you. Thank you, Cheesy Mac. And it means a lot to me because I do be reading them long ass comments.
Yeah, y'all know the past few weeks y'all done got about 4-hour feedback shows.
Yeah, y'all been, you know, and it's been, and I welcome it. I mean, honestly, it's a public catharsis. I know that the election, especially, just a lot of people had a lot of emotions and a lot to say, and you know, we couldn't even get to everybody. It's the first time, but it would have been even longer if I was able to get to every single person. But we thank y'all that come through and contribute.
We do, because there's some people, they looking for feedback, and we get it, so we're not complaining at all. It's just more show for y'all, basically.
All right, let's get into the episodes here. We had 3 of them. The first one was episode 3012, Public Intellectuals. I guess I should do a little housekeeping up front. So the first thing is, of course, holiday cards, addresses. We're still getting them. We're now up to 112. So hopefully everybody be able to get one. I haven't ordered the cards yet because I'm still figuring out what I want to put on the cards.
Right.
Before that Black Friday sale is over. But Yeah, so people sending them in. We're gonna try to get everybody. But letting you know, send it in the email in the address format. A lot of y'all have, a couple of y'all haven't, and I do notice in Bristol, I almost want to be a dick and be like, "What did I tell you? Reject." But I'm not an asshole about it.
It just makes it simpler.
It's just
for
a
us.
lot easier if you can get it in the actual address format. That's spaces and the right city and all that stuff. You guys can look it up. I don't want to go through it. This is an English class, but make sure you guys do that. Of course, the wish list is in the show notes of every single show. If you want to get something off our wish list for us, fine. I think it's always interesting. Fine. I mean, great. I want y'all to do that. But it's always interesting when y'all do that, because Karen put stuff on there, I put stuff on there, and it's always fun to see what y'all think we put on there by what y'all buy. But I appreciate that.
And the stuff be all over the place, y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
We do.
So make sure you guys do all of that. And the Black Friday sale ends this Friday, I believe, the 6th.
The 6th.
At midnight. Okay, be there, be square. People are still signing up.
Yes, and we thank you. And for those of you that are premium, y'all got an episode of Lip Smacking Good this week. So it's just one of those things where we take time off. Premium people still get stuff.
Exactly. So, and movie reviews, stuff like that. But yeah, make sure you guys sign up for that. And if you are switching over from, like, I was a monthly person, now I'm switching over to this Black Friday deal, or I was a yearly person at $150 and now I'm switching over to the Black Friday deal at $100, make sure you cancel your old subscription. I don't mind canceling it for you. Once again, any questions, any issues, any concerns, the blackouttips@gmail.com. If you, I'm tired of saying it, but it'll be over in a few days, and then inevitably someone's gonna email me on the 7th. What's up with the deal? Or, hey, can I pay with PayPal? Or I would have got it, but I didn't know if I could pay with Zelle. The blackouttips@gmail.com for all your questions and concerns.
Yeah, we'll work it out with you.
I'll work it out with you. Karen is not going to do any of the work. She's just putting me to work.
I am.
And acting like she's taking credit for the work.
That's
but
right.
I'm doing it.
This is a duo. I mean, I understand it says the black guy who tips, but I'm part of the team too.
Okay. Well, I'll forward the emails to you.
Nope, moral support.
Karen will take care. You know, I'm glad you volunteered. I'm glad. I've been waiting for years for you to step up.
You're going to get my moral
side.
support. I don't know IT shit. You don't want me doing it.
All right, now we can get into the episode. Episode 3012, Public Intellectuals. We got 4 comments on this one. Appia says, I just realized that DT is really half German and Peter Thiel is fully German, born in Frankfurt. I'm sorry, you all. Well, aren't you Polish? Like, you're not really, you don't count as it's not your fault. I think not consuming the content from Donald Trump and having a ratings tank is a way to go. I expect fully for him to be the worst ever, so I can't be really surprised, and watching him speak feels like cutting myself. I accidentally read in my farmer news that he appointed a real doctor as Surgeon General. Don't want to look him up. Probably he is terrible, and was surprised that he didn't put Kid Rock for this position or something. Give him time. That's the other thing.
Give
There's
a lot of positions open.
Don't forget, there's a lot of turnover in a Donald Trump administration.
It is. A lot of these people ain't gonna last 6 months.
So I can't be sure that we won't be down to Kid Rock in a year or two or something. I don't know what'll happen. Just brace for the worst, basically. Appia says, one more thought on what our public intellectual said. It's way easier to unite people in hating something than really doing something. I can name all the things my company does badly, for example, but if I had to find a better way for many things, I would be lost. Hate doesn't get anything done, but gives the feeling of being in unity. So it's way easier, and you need no ideas. That's very efficient, but also extremely diabolic. Yes.
Yeah, for the fact that you need no ideas, that's the simple part about it. It's like you're not really giving solutions, because that's the part that will require work. You're not really giving answers or anything like that. You're just complaining for the sake of complaining.
Let me tell you why I love that thought, Appia. Is also because I think people hearing that, and I'm assuming, but who knows, maybe they're thinking like me. Most people hearing that are thinking like, yes, Donald Trump. He gave everybody something to hate. People unify around something to hate. And he didn't give them really any new ideas. He didn't give them any explicit policies or anything, and they just combined around the hate, and enough of them were able to to win the election for Donald Trump. But I would also say a lot of this is what I've noticed on the left too. And I don't mean hating Donald Trump. I was hopeful that we could unify around the idea of hating Donald Trump. And I wasn't really wrong. I mean, if you look at the numbers, Kamala Harris has the third most, I think, ever votes. So it's not like it was so far off. It's just there's another type of hate that is like, I just hate the Democrats, or I just hate it all, or I hate the system, or I hate institutions, whatever it is. But there's people that combine around that too, who stay at home or vote third party or, you know, refrain from voting or vote these like, you know, protest votes or whatever. And a lot of that has happened with our online discourse, because online, a lot of it is centered around dislike and discontent. And so I feel like that is a great point that you made. It's not just Donald Trump. It's so much stuff in our lives. Like I know so many people that I call it performative objectivity, where if I were to tell them like, okay, like let's talk about politics, they run down a list of like what they hate about the Democrats. You know, I was watching Roy Wood Jr.'s TV show on CNN the other day. Bomani Jones is on there along with like some other panelists, and they had this brief segment that was like, have the Democrats abandoned the working class? And everybody just said yes, and then they just moved on. Now I find that interesting, because what does it look like to abandon the working class versus what does it look like to not abandon the working class?
Right.
What does it look like for so many people that aren't white people who are working class that vote Democrat in the overwhelming majority? What's wrong? Like, what do they feel abandoned? Is it not really about the Democrats at that point? What's it about? I'd love some explanation on that. But my point is, everyone on that panel, including the Republican, all agreed and unified around the idea of we can hate on the Democrats right now. They're bad. They're not good enough. And that's really strong for people. And it brings people of all walks of life and intellect together in this like dismissive level of like disdain. And I found that to be interesting. It's like, that undercurrent is slowly eroding a lot of stuff, because if I asked them to sit down and name some policies that Democrats had done for the working class, I feel like, and I don't want to be an asshole because these are smart people, but I feel like I could sit them down and they wouldn't be able to come up with any, which doesn't mean that there aren't any. It means that at the end of the day, it's easier to kind of get a pass for just a blanket dislike. We kind of assume that means you're in the know. You know, it's when Jon Stewart acts like what Donald Trump says and what Joe Biden says is basically the same shit.
And it's not.
And I'm like, no, there's degrees to it, but it's not as funny, and you don't seem as smart, and you don't seem as objective if you don't kind of equally go in on both sides. And I think a lot of people have been lazily getting a pass for that, because as you pointed out, just easier to unify with hate. Rona Raphael says, man, really put that poll up there. Of course, yes. Oh, the poll was, do you think of Rod as a public intellectual? Because, you know, someone had wrote in with that. Ronan Raphael says, man, really put that poll up there. Of course, yes, you are both public intellectuals, although you don't endorse my hustle. I know me an intellectual when I sees them. If you wasn't, I would have taken my money from you that day I met you on the last shooting of Game Theory from Bomani Jones. One look at the brother Rod, and I knew that he was legit. I haven't met my sister Karen yet. Right after you win the mega lottery, I'll be there, of course. However, she been through the fire like a cane.
Oh, no.
Before your awards arrive, never forget Mustard. Y'all the best public intellectuals, or is it the douche beer talking? Sean says, I do be pedantic at times, don't I? You do. You like a little bit of pedanticisim. I don't even know if that's a word. You like the dabble in the pedantic. That being said, I understood that it was in quotes, just wanted to add emphasis. Okay. I think the left has deeper connections than the right, but I also understand the knotted web of bigotry that has helped a completely unqualified racist who was one Big Mac away from letting Vance be president get elected. I do not think that the left should emulate that, because when things get bad, and they will, look who's in charge, that web will tear and scatter to the wind or come back to the left. I'm hoping that Kamala is back in 2028. Her numbers kept improving the more she ran. I think now that her time is not so tight, she could have a conversation with the moron who does shitty interviews. Sorry, forgot his name. Was it Rogan or something? I don't pay attention to podcasts without public intellectuals hosting them. Anyway, I think Rogan could be moved to the left because he doesn't seem to have deep opinions on anything other than MMA. Yeah, so that's the thing with Joe Rogan. I think it's a trick. I think he can't be moved to the left. I don't think he's a leftist. I don't think he's a centrist. I mean, you might could consider him a libertarian in that he's a Republican that likes smoking weed. But I think, and I know I'm tired of saying this, but I'm going to be saying it for a long time, probably the rest of my life, because I just can't see the world any different now in America. But I think the belief that Joe Rogan can be swayed, that there's another version of Joe Rogan that can be created for people that aren't conservative. I think even the idea of him as like this unbiased arbiter of just whatever, I think that is also giving a lot of credit and a lot of plausible deniability and a lot of whatever to whiteness.
Right.
I don't think that man has shown us any reason to believe that he is coming back or can be or ever really was that liberal. I'm not saying he was always the conservative kind of red pill shield that he is now. And he's definitely not as hardcore as those hardcore, like he's not hardcore like the dude, what's the guy that got sued by the Sandy Hook parents? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
The one who talks funny.
Yes, got the radio show that the Onion just bought.
Yeah.
I can't not remember that dude's name.
InfoWars.
Yes, I don't remember that dude's name. I know exactly
whatever
what
his name
about.
is, right? Someone in the chat room will come up with it.
Oh yeah, I know somebody know.
But Joe Rogan is not that. Like that's not who he is, and he's not trying to
Alex
be,
Jones. Thank you, y'all.
He's not trying to be Alex Jones. He doesn't want to be an Alex Jones. So it's not that. So if you're sitting around thinking to yourself like, well, Joe Rogan's, y'all are acting like he's Alex Jones. I don't think so. It's not that at all. There's a type of person where they would be in a room with Alex Jones. They're going to take that picture with Alex Jones. They're going to let Alex Jones say that bullshit in front of them. When Alex Jones says something that should be kind of unforgivable, they're going to be around him next time. And that's what I'm talking about. Rogan and many other people like him have become the space for, we just kind of allow that shit. And it's self-segregating in that if you are a person that these people are talking about or saying something so disgusting about or to, you kind of move yourself out.
Right.
And so what you end up with over there is kind of a right-wing spear, just because the kind of black person that doesn't want to be around a guy that does N-word jokes or espouses the great replacement theory every few episodes or whatever, who invites white supremacists on to like give their spiel, that kind of person doesn't kick it over there often.
Nope.
And so and when they do, they don't talk about that stuff. So you don't end up with this even playing field where like, okay, sure, but when he has a liberal person, if he has Mark Maron on, they'll end up swaying him with their liberal arguments. No. He has Mark Maron on, they'll talk about stand-up.
Right.
They'll talk about, comedy. If he has them on. I mean, Mark Maron might never come on. But you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he would not sit down and be like, let's talk about the vaccines. You have to bring that up.
Yes.
That shit ain't coming up for you. And then he'll bring on, like, a quack doctor and be like, now let's talk about vaccines and the vaccines only, really. So I think that's the allure of him. So I don't think he's coming back to the left. I don't think he can be swayed. But the appearance and belief that he can be swayed is a function of us not really wanting to contribute or not wanting to attribute very harsh judgments to kind of just your general white people. You know?
Yeah, because I've come to the conclusion that a lot of things, particularly here in America, I can't speak of nowhere else, that happens is whiteness not wanting to judge whiteness, and whiteness not wanting to penalize whiteness, and whiteness not wanting to hold whiteness accountable for whiteness actions, like as a totality. It's amazing. Every other group, if you're a part, you represent that group. But for whiteness, is always individuality. Because if you look at it, we have a lot like mass gun shootings. Most of the time it's white people. But if you ever realize, this is something I picked up, if you ever realize anytime it's reported, it's always a lone wolf, a one person. Mm-hmm. That particular person, now we got to go down to mental illness. Now we got to go. Now we got to chop and screw it to the minuteness, versus actually saying, "Hey, it might be a problem with whiteness as a whole." And when it comes to us and any other marginalized group, one person, it is the entire. You represent the entire fucking group. You did wrong, the whole group fucked up. You ain't shit, the whole group ain't shit. Every other group, including women, are never individualized. And that's very frustrating. And until that problem is fixed, we're going to have a lot of issues here in our country. Because like you say, Reconstruction was only 8 years. Why? Because whiteness don't want to hold whiteness accountable. All of a sudden, because they look like you, they're your family members, they're your loved ones, they wiped your ass, all of a sudden you have compassion. But if they don't look like you don't have to have compassion. You don't have to have empathy nor understanding, because as far as whiteness is concerned, why would I care about somebody that does not look like me? And that particular thing right there is what keeps white supremacy alive and consistently wanting to separate us and shit like that. Like I really do think that that's the root cause, in my opinion, of a lot of this shit. So if you really want to address it, it's something that white people are going to have to fix. And this particular election, what white people showed me? They don't want to fix it, because who they blamed? Everybody but white men. They blamed the black people. They blamed the black men. They blamed Kamala Harris. They blamed everybody else except for the root cause of the problem. You didn't want to call it racist. You didn't want to call it misogyny. You didn't want to call it none of that. Everything. What about the economics? What about the working class? Bitches, black folks is working class too. But for some reason we don't count though.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was listening to a podcast a little bit in the car. You was listening with me too, because I had it on. But it's Charlotte Talks, which is our local Charlotte politics podcast by Public Radio and stuff, which will probably have their funding taken. But I always find it interesting listening to them, because this episode was like their special, like, the main guy was out, so they brought someone else in to do like a special episode. And it was about politics and talking politics at Thanksgiving and how to get along with people. And I didn't even finish the episode, because at the end of the day, and it's not because I'm don't go eat Thanksgiving with your family people. I'm not like that. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it was for white people.
Yes.
It was a whole conversation and it's sad that race is so prevalent in America that I can just literally feel to my core it's mostly a racial discussion that they don't want to say is a racial discussion.
Yes.
But I'm not, unless I have married into or deal with conservative white folks, I'm not worried about these things at my Thanksgiving table. It's not a problem for me. It's nothing to think about. Even when I have black, my family is pretty much all black. Even when politics comes up, I never worry about them being like, because I love Trump, or because gay people shouldn't vote or whatever. Like, those are just not kitchen table issues for us. It's not
right.
So anyway, a lot of this discussion can't be named and can't be said. It's Voldemort. You can't say what it is. And Joe Rogan exists in that world of, you can't really say that that's what it is without a lot of pushback. So we got to pretend that Joe Rogan just needs to be convinced, and that's all it is. And hey, it's just a coincidence that when Kamala Harris wanted to do the show, that was the same day Trump wanted to do the show. And hey, I need 3 hours, not 1 hour, and all this shit. And that's why she lost the election. It's just like, we just got to pretend that that's what's happening. I refuse to participate in us pretending that that's what happened.
Agreed. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, agreed. And also, it's one of the things for me, particularly after this election, after the media, social media, and the masses are not going to gaslight me to make me pretend I didn't see what I saw. America showed me his whole ass, and I'm going to be like, oh, okay, I see your ass. I'm not going to be like, no, they didn't mean to. They just mooned me for a second. It was just a joke. No, you showed me your ass. I saw it, and y'all not going to pretend like I did not see it. And because I saw the backside of America, I am tired of people pretending like these conversations are for everybody else but white folks. Like you said, when we was having that thing, I was in the background first. I was like, oh, y'all talking to white people. I was like, this conversation is not for me type of thing, and it's one of those things, like you say, it's like both of them. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to bring it up. Nobody wants to discuss it. And if you do, all of a sudden, you have to deal with the consequences of being shunned from the family, or being called out, or you being the problem because you making them feel uncomfortable because they don't want to face the racist shit and the things that they've bought into that a lot of times are just flat out lies, but they don't want to face that reality that their family members and their loved ones and the ones around them are part of the problem, and they might be part of the problem, may have benefited from part of the problem. It's easy for you to just benefit from the system than to try to change the system because the system benefits you.
On YouTube, we got some comments for this one. How many episodes do you think y'all have in total? Well, there's
we numbered them, I say
3,014 of these that you guys have, can listen to that are outside of the paywall. Not counting the episode we had to re-record because we lost it. Rest in peace to that episode.
R.I.P. We number our episodes.
So, what number was that? 3,014 was the number. So let me pull out my calculator now, since you want to be such a smarty art person. So that's 3,000 episodes not behind the paywall.
This free.
But we have another 2,112 that are behind the paywall. So in total, we have 5,126 episodes, and that's not counting guest appearances on other podcasts and stuff like that. All right. B. Jinxful says, I'm with Karen. The whole Trump and them are incompetent and does nothing for us. It might make you feel better, but they're still in power. I felt back in 2016 that was a part of him winning, as folks were real dismissive of him and his supporters as dumb and didn't take it seriously enough.
Right.
Agreed.
Right.
Chi-Bug says, sounds like that auditor needs to be fired from that position. I don't even remember what that was. JV City says, Karen be knowing, heart emoji, still trying to handle co-workers, friends, and relatives that have made the mistake of drinking the Tang. I have remained silent so far to see how comfortable they will get. Luckily, I don't live near them. I stopped using social media for communications because of the orange run of 2016. Podcast clips are the new crack. Drive me crazy how the lack of literacy continues to be true. It's My Rap says, for the links to be clickable in the video description, you have to put https / in front of them.
Oh, like the
YouTube
old school?
be extra hard emoji for that heart emoji. Thanks for the amazing show as always. Thank you. I didn't know that's what you need to do.
So they go old school. They were like, you better put the whole website.
Yeah. Honey Biscuit says, how cold do you keep the home? I ain't never seen Karen's shirt, hoodie, sweater, or blouse. Does she have clothes? Rod be keeping this woman on ice. Look, I know y'all want to see them titties too, and I like seeing them myself. I know it's what it's really about. You try to act like, it's just I'm so concerned about it being cold in the house. It doesn't matter what temperature I put it at. For the record, I've actually many times turn the temperature up before the show in the house, turn the heat on and everything, and she'll still put on that snuggie. So
I'm always cold.
Yeah, whatever. Let's get it up to 90 in here, see what happens.
No, then it's hot. Don't you turn the heat up.
So she don't want it hot. What the fuck y'all want me to do? Calm down. Damn, y'all press to see some titties. Y'all better join Big Black Areolas like I did on Reddit.
There's plenty of them out there.
And just
plenty of them shining.
Just y'all, if y'all need to see them, then go see them. Just stop being pressed about our house. I turn it up too hot, y'all gonna be like, Rod always sweating during every episode. How hot do you have it?
He sweats, yes.
When y'all gonna comment on the show and the topics? What about that? The hard work we do. You can learn that with the shit being on mute.
Nope.
Rose,
they are concerned about the thuggies.
Rose for you 111 says, well said. I enjoy listening to this conversation. These are strange times. Remember that we spent most of 45's terms in a mishandled pandemic. One wonders, will we spend 47's term in another bumbled situation such as World War III? All right. Let's not go on a high note. Chinese Spy Balloon says, good stuff, just subbed. Tiffany Cherie says, looking good, guys. Y'all glowing. Oh, thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
If you're going to say something about our appearance, I prefer it to be that. Okay, stop being. Why is Rod wearing hoodies?
I like my thuggies.
And Jinxful just said mustard. A lot of, like Kendrick, like mustard. Lucky Eagle says, hi, Rod and Karen. I'm the black radical feminist who wrote in with my question about how the trans issues affected the election. Oh, turf. Yeah, the turfs. I appreciate your thoughtful response to my comment, and though we disagree on that subject, there are many subjects we agree on. Listening to your various shows about the election convinced me that it wasn't all about race and nothing else. Because I had to look at myself, who was radical when it comes to black people and women's issues and moderate on most other issues, I very wholeheartedly voted for Kamala because, yes, I do not believe you can change a person's sex. And yes, I think we should be stricter about immigration, but ultimately those things don't affect me as much as a straight black American woman. They contribute to mild annoyances at best, but the world Kamala envisioned would have changed my life, and those are the people I hold dear. Kamala was really trying to do something good for everyone. Anyone voting in this election knew that, even though they are trying so hard to be intellectually dishonest. The only reason to do anything different was because you were voting for whiteness. I might agree with Trump on trans issues because even a broken clock is right twice a day, but that's not a reason to tank the whole country and vote for someone who's trying to destroy my community. I'd rather share this country with folks I don't particularly agree with or like rather than surrender it to MAGA white supremacists. I prefer to be a moderate among liberals than a moderate among conservatives, and I think at the end of the day we all do. And frankly, I find living in this country with all these racist white people more disturbing than the mild annoyance at trans politics. I am a transphobe and a turf, but I come to it honestly out of my distrust in the intentions of all men. That said, even I knew better than to allow this country to the wolves, which proves to me that it was all about race. Yeah. And I think, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, and my thing, the way you feel about race, that's how trans people feel about you. And the reason why I said that is because they just want to exist, just like you just want to exist. You just want to exist and nobody bother you and you live your life. And that's how they feel. And so my thing is Kamala was benefiting everybody. But like Roger said, we can agree on our hate for Trump. Now, when it comes to the other issues, everybody has their thing. But my thing is, at the end of the day, everybody wants to live the best life possible here in America. And regardless of your sex, your sexuality and things like that, because not only you, it's a lot of people that are caught up in that, like there aren't black, trans, gender, LGBTQ people like we for some reason don't exist. We exist too. And so it's one of those things where she was like, I'm doing this for everybody. Now I am glad that you were able to be like, okay, regardless of how I personally feel, I'm voting for the greater good. But a lot of people aren't like you. That is their sticking point, and they don't give a fuck, and they're like, fuck them and fuck all of them, and that's a problem. And a lot of them aren't budging. They aren't willing to compromise. They're none of that.
So the thing is, and I'm trying to be mindful of this myself, but you know, a hard thing to deal with is we want to align around like ideological purity, and we want everyone to have the best of intention and a heart full of gold and acceptance and love, and I just don't think it's possible. And I think, you know, as we described last week, which you kind of perfectly illustrated, is that there's a lot of people in a big tent that don't want to be in the tent with other people. Right. I think the goal should not be to kick people out the tent. I think that's a losing strategy, and I think and just morally, I think it's bad for the soul. You know, I know we don't agree on morally what's right in this situation, but I think morally to abandon trans people for political expedience is a mistake that we'll never recover from. And I think the same argument can be made of civil rights with black people. Mm-hmm. You could argue that civil rights and passing the Civil Rights Act cost Democrats much more than it was worth. Like as a political party, right? They could have just coasted on, don't let these niggas vote, don't give them any rights, and we shall continue to benefit from white people and white Southerners supporting our party, and we'll win most of the elections, if not all the elections. And they just thought, this is wrong. It is wrong not to let these people vote. It is wrong it is wrong to look at their persecution and turn the other way. Right. We must do something. You know, it's Democrat presidents sending the National Guard down there. They didn't need to do that. They didn't have to.
No,
they could have let, been like, oh, we saw the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Too bad. Then move, but they didn't, because the right thing to do was to say black people should be able to exist wherever they live. And I feel very similar about this issue. But I'm willing to align with, always willing to align with people that don't agree but understand why we should vote together.
Right.
We lost that somehow, somewhere along the line. I don't know what you do to get it back. The only thing I've ever seen work is Republicans being in charge, passing some policies that people eventually go, uh-oh, these are not good policies. And then they come running back to like, I guess I'll let this trans shit go.
Right.
Not that they go, oh, I understand trans people are human and they deserve every equal rights. They never get there for the most part. There's still people this day, they don't like gay people. Like you're a trans exclusionary radical feminist, I assume, TERF. But that also means that you're probably pro LGB or something. Like a lot of times people be feminists and it's like, well, two women loving each other, there's nothing wrong with that. If anything, it's empowering. Well, there's a lot of people that just like, I'm not down with that, and so you'll never get them fully on board. There's Christians who vote Democrat but don't feel like people should be able to be gay or lesbian. I don't have time. I don't have time. Let's just go and vote together and see what we can get. So right. I respect that you were able to at least get to that point of view, because I think that's the best we're going to get from a lot of people. And that's it. I'm not going to, I don't want to be I'm not going to be performing and trying to show everybody how righteous I am by going in hard on you, because right. But the reason I'm saying that is not because I agree with you. It's just literally, I don't even see what the point is. You're at the point that we need you to be. And that's that's as good as it's gonna get.
Right, which is your vote. And at the end of the day, that's kind of that matters. Because if somebody's on the Democratic Party and they're racist, they will never see my humanity. But as long as they're on my side when it comes time to vote and the laws protect me, I'm good with that. Like, okay, you don't like me, but there are laws to protect me from you.
Chi-Bug says, every time we progress an inch, we want to burn our lives down. Yeah. The Republicans nominated George W. Bush twice. They don't care about qualifications, says Smart Dave. Echo says, Rod and Karen, thanks so much for everything you do, all you have done and continue to do for our community. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say I love y'all. I am a blue dot in a red state and you are my community. Karen, say that shit again about folks from the north thinking they safe and looking down on us. Rod, thank you for telling the truth about our country and the fact that it is our neighbors who choose whiteness over everything to get Trump back in office, period. I'm so grateful to hear you and very few others admitting that it wasn't a mandate, it wasn't a landslide, and there was no cheating. The trans thing wasn't even a damn thing. It's literally not even a thing. Folks just want an excuse to be a bigot. Our countrymen so damn scared someone will have equity. That's all. Just scared someone will have a leg up or fairness is in this rigged fucking capitalist system. Ugh, I'm a social worker and literally it makes me sick. Whiteness and folks obsessed with their proximity to whiteness and the patriarchy are just clutching their pearls that someone might get fed, housed, clothed, medically cared for at the same level as them. Yeah, it reminds me of the minimum wage fight when people they're like, but if I went to college and I'm not making $15 an hour, it's like, okay. Not really sure what that's to do with raising the minimum wage. That just sounds like you're being a hater.
Yes.
I saw it coming when they fought so hard against the Affordable Care Act. Why the hell wouldn't you want someone else to have health insurance? It was such a mind fuck, but now it's apparent. This election was America at its most familiar form. It is terrifying, but not incapacitating. And of course the Dems are like, oh, let's leap to the right. And if that's not what they want to do, as if that's not what they want to do anyway, LOL. I see you, Mika and Joe. Stay honest. We have a long, sad way to go to get to the progressive future we're all hoping for, but let's be clear. The country ain't about shit. We can literally be the worst. Also, just want to say I prefer you and our Queen Karen, but I also watch and enjoy you and Professor Karen Hunter. Thank you all. Thank God you ain't got to choose. Okay. I'll be dealing
He's
with
number one in the Black Karen demographic.
Okay. I'll be over there for both of them. Thank you all for all the hope, truth, and light you guys always bring us every day. We have to stay woke and be honest about this country, what it is. As Dr. Greg Carr says adequately, America, a great criminal enterprise. It is what it is and will carry on, but stay woke, white folks stay creeping. Thank you, Echoes. That was very nice, thoughtful, long comment. And last one is from Andrea, who says, so black people are basically telling other black people to go back to Africa, LOL. I don't even know which part this is referring to, but I don't know. Maybe they are. I don't remember. It's been a couple weeks. All right. The poll, do you think a rise of public intellectual? 83% said yes, 17% said no. I'm cool with either way. That's why I made the poll. I just want to know what y'all think. It's amazing so many think that highly of me, or that low of what a public intellectual is. I don't know. Don't really matter. Not really a big deal. All right, let's get into the next episode, but first, a beat. All right, here we go. The next episode is Mustard. 3013 is the number. 11 comments. Wow. Appia says, I laughed out loud when Rod said, we all know the grandfather's theme is slaps. Turn that shit up. Rona Raphael says, anger, rage, grief, I too am in a much better place now. First step was listening to the Blackout Tips and knowing that I wasn't alone and feeling how I felt. Second was recording an episode on the election where a lot of our rage could be felt. The third was my 6-year-old hustling me last week. Got me real good. I knew it was time to get through the fire and get back at Rod for disrespecting the middle names. Proud of the kid too. So I went to Appia's country for some good beverage. Truth be told, I can't dwell for too long on hopelessness. It awakens the cracking of the river nun. Nobody wants that. Let's all have some of that mustard. Appia says, I was also really super sad and it was important to feel it. I was sad that terrible people can be as bad as they want to and getting a reward about all the racism and all the a reward. We'll see. This is one of them rewards that you think you want. This is a dog catching a car. This to me is a lot like the abortion thing where the repercussions of this are going to be long reaching and disastrous for many people that think that they could not be touched when they voted for this, or they voted out of anger to prove to some other people how much they hate them. You know, it's kind of like that comment the person left on YouTube where it's like, no matter how, like she says herself, I am a transphobe, right? She apparently is not transphobic enough that she would let the hate or disdain or whatever lead her to be like, let's burn the country down. But there's a lot of people that couldn't.
Yep.
They were like, nah, black people doing a little too much protesting for me.
Yep.
I'm sorry. You know, I don't like these kids at these colleges doing all this Palestine shit. Let's teach them a lesson.
Yep.
And they did pull the lever knowing that they were on the menu too. You know, there are people that are like, yeah. And they're hoping that they're going to mitigate some harm by, you know, like, come on, man, really, Trump, you really going to get rid of all these people that work at my farm?
Yes. All of them.
But yeah, it's going to be wild to watch, you know, because they think they got a reward, but they pockets about to get fleeced like a motherfucker.
Yep. More fleeced than ours because a lot of them depend on all these government things much more than we do in mass.
Now it's better. I realize that I am allowed to distance myself from it all, concentrating myself on being nice in life to others, and knowing that everything in life has an end. Even the worst dictator has an expiration date. Michael says, thanks, Karen, for speaking about crying over the election results recently. I voted no in the poll, but I think I'm probably going to have a good cry over it soon. No, thank me. Okay. I said I cried first, the very first day. I said it. I'm the brave one. Okay. Karen just had a more dramatic cry that waited longer. But I should have got
Why you say I'm all dramatic?
Ann says, listen to a political analyst talk about the election results. He said that the economy stays the same and doesn't get worse. We're going to see Republicans stay in control. Probably flip some Democratic strongholds. He said people don't won't move unless it's really hurting them personally. I can see that being true. I've noticed more people saying Trump's policies won't affect them directly. Albia says they said possibly to make themselves feel somehow okay, and I understand it. You can live on alert. You can't live on alert all the time. It will kill you and it will help no one. We'll see, Ann. At this point, we'll see. Like, these political analysts all have a bunch of theories. I'd love to see what that person said throughout the election. What did they predict for who would win, who would lose? What did they make of, all of the highs of the Kamala campaign that we know that apparently we're forbidden to talk about now, such as the volunteers, the money raised, the attendance at rallies, the
gaslighting. They try to act like that shit just never existed.
So I would love to see these people, because I think what many of us should have learned is probably to stop listening as much to a lot of these analysts who either A, didn't really see it coming either, and then B, the second that it happened, went into like, it's everything but white supremacy, it's everything but racism, it's everything but sexism. I don't really need to hear y'all talk about it. It's like, why are we listening to posters? Y'all got it wrong. All of you got it wrong, basically. So I'm not really sure what we're doing. And the people that we made stars because they got it right the last time, they were wrong this time.
Yes, they were.
Like, no one's clean in this, and no one really knows what's going to happen day to day, and we'll see. But I'm not saying that person's necessarily wrong. I don't put any more stock in it than anyone else at this point. Maybe they're right, maybe they're not. We'll see. Erica says, I think Justin may have been on to something when he said he took the day off after the election. In addition to general life stuff, I felt so heavy the day after. In my heart, I saw this coming, but I so wanted things to be different. My anger stems from people just lacking plain damn common sense. This man is a liar, piss poor businessman, and a bigot. What the fuck? Shoe Booty says, I didn't realize I was in the same pattern as Karen, binging the show around the clock, knocking back dozens of episodes, and then having the cry. Today marks 7 years that my mom has been gone, and once cry time started, it just all came out. Everything that's been built up, the stages agree, personal and political. You got to go through it to get through it.
Yes, you do.
My show has not been anime isekai, though. It's been Criminal Minds. It's just been a comforting propaganda show that's bringing me peace, seeing the bad guys getting caught and feeling like there's a balance. I'm on season 9 now.
Oh, you've been flying through that. That's a long ass series.
Evie E says, I didn't cry this time when Dump was elected because like I did the first time, but I am worried. I'm worried but disengaged, if that makes sense. Of course, I care that a lot of his policies will affect me and my parents, but I'm kind of resigned to the bullshit this time around. All I can do is keep voting when the time comes, if we even had that chance, and focusing on my family and mental health and doing the things that make me happy. I'm focusing on learning how to crochet and learning a new language to keep me occupied. Yeah, and I don't even know what we do, man, because like part of this is the anxiety and worry are not things that add to my life. And at the same time, you're never 100% in control of those things either. Like that, like if we could had a switch where we could turn off anxiety, we all would, right? Or most of us would. Anyway, I don't know that those things are fruitful to have, but you do want to keep an eye on what's happening. You do want to stay informed. But you also don't want to reward a lot of these media platforms who've made a living and I think was covetous of, they wanted this back. They made a living off of like the constant panic of the Trump years and us turning on the TV just to keep doom scrolling through the channels like, oh God, what is he going to do next? What did he do now? And I think having gone through this once and honestly never feeling like we got a break, even in these 4 years under Biden, I never felt like Trump went away. Right. And their obsession with his every Truth Social, whatever they tweet over there, or whatever that's called, like they were constantly like, even the lawsuits, he was never out of the zeitgeist. So I don't know, at some point you have to choose. I guess it's like living in a war zone or something. Like, when I'm supposed to not get bread, at the end of the day I have to get bread from the store, and if motherfuckers are shooting, then I guess I have to turn off the part of my brain that's only like, don't go out there to shooting, because I gotta go get the bread. And I think that's kind of what a lot of us have to do. Obviously, a much harsher analogy than needs to be, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it's like playing a sport. In football, you can get hurt every play. In basketball, you get fouled all the time. if you play the game like the only thing you want to do is avoid getting fouled, then you're useless and you can't really exist. So you kind of have to do it.
Yeah, and it's also, I think for me, I 100% agree with what you said. And also, I think that the media, particularly like CNN and some of these quote unquote liberal spaces, or they were liberal spaces at some period of time, I think a lot of them got a shock because a lot of people that were only listening for the election, and when the election ended, a lot of people just turned their TVs off on them. And I think that they did not realize, they thought they was going to get the same result before. But for a lot of people, their anxiety was so high, and once they got the results, for a lot of people, it's not the fact that the anxiety went away. The anxiety was just moved in another direction, and the direction was not watching y'all tell them that the world is going to end, you know. And so they're like, oh my gosh, the ratings went down. Yes, because while we here, the election is over. Like y'all can't time tick them to death now. The deadline is passed.
As for the new Kendrick album, I gotta say I've been a casual listener to his music, but there are a few songs on his latest album that has had me in a chokehold since the release. Luther and Squabble Up have been on continuous loop for the past couple of days. All those old school samples is making my heart happy. He got another banger. This definitely been his year. Ms. Barnes says, I feel you caring about the Stardew Valley concert. I have seen where there is a jazz concert of the music of Cowboy Bebop that is touring in C next week, and I know that jazz slaps. When you go to the concert, Karen, please banter us on this feedback as well as on the Nerd Off.
I definitely gonna go to the Stardew Valley. I don't know about the Cowboy Bebop. I think it's one day next week there in Charlotte, because I was talking to Roger about that. We'll see. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop, like that soundtrack, motherfucking goose.
And then let's check YouTube real quick on this episode. We got 7 comments. Risa says, I saw a TikTok where this girl said Kendrick dropped the album because he knew black people needed something to lift our spirits. I know it's not true, but I'll take it. We've been bumping GNX and screaming mustard since Friday. This album is some of the things I love about West Coast music, and it's exciting to see my son enjoying that part of our culture. Yeah, it's been so long since we've really had regional music like this, where it's like an album is just like, nah, it's just for the people that live here, and that makes it universal. I think once everybody started trying to sound like they're either from Atlanta or you're from London, but you want to sound like New York drill rap, or you're from fucking wherever. Like, once everybody started blending the sounds, which I think is attributed a lot to Drake being at the top of the game, being a guy who's not from any of this, but just floated from sound to sound. Like, okay, now I'm from Houston. Okay, now I'm from Memphis. Okay, now I'm from Atlanta. Seeing a lot of artists adopt that, and Kendrick kind of do a rejection of that this year, it's really been fulfilling. And I would love to see some regional sounds come back, because I feel like
I love regional sounds.
I feel like, you know, we don't have a lot of artists that do that. Like, we have people from Atlanta that sound like Atlanta. That's fine, but we don't really have people that really just like, this just for Atlanta, this just for the South, this just for
right. I'm talking specific things, and if the rest of the world get on it, great.
Carlton says, listen to Karen's excitement about going to the Stardew Valley Orchestra reminds me to book my tickets for Legend of Zelda Orchestra performance. I love video game music.
Ooh, I didn't know they was doing one of them too.
JV City says, thank you, Karen. I've been panic buying and not mourning. I need to wail. Thanks, Rod. We will remain. Heart emoji. Jinxful says, man, between the Ab Soul and Kendrick, I've been living. Love how both of them took similar approaches to paying homage to other artists by embodying their essence on tracks. Yep. Yeah, man. It's been a great ending of the year for music. Mustard on the Meat Hoe just sent me. Says Tipsy with Feed. My son, 11, and I have been enjoying yelling mustard on the way to school in the morning. Love that. Brought y'all together. Alicia says Casanat is pure chaos. And lastly, Jason says, I'm with you, Rod, when it comes to Casanat. For me, Logan Paul was my time to leave the club moment. I remember a young person attempting to explain to me what Logan Paul was. It took some Don Cheadle level acting to keep the judgment off of my face. I don't understand it, but I really wish I did. We know the money follows what the young people are doing, so this is the present and future of art and entertainment. Yeah, and honestly, like, if you're a parent, it behooves you to pay attention, because this is also, a lot of these people are where your kids are getting their morals from.
Yes.
Also, I love Karen going to that symphony show. It is funny how context and exposure can open your mind to things. Like, if you ask me if I like classical music, the answer is no. If you ask me if any song went harder than Game of Thrones intro, the answer is no. I feel you on that. And lastly, the poll is, have you cried over the way the election ended? 57% yes, 43% no. So still some people that are like, nope. You don't see them coming down my eyes.
Right? So I got to make this song cry.
Yeah. Well, to each their own. Episode 3014, Drake's old habeas corpus ass was the title. 8 comments. Ernest says, as a DJ, may I please have more information on how to get paid for playing Not Like Us? Do remixes count? I have a Kids Bop style parody called We Ride the Bus. If I'm playing an event that requires edited music, can I get some of this payola for playing that? Times is hard, and I'm trying to update my iPhone before the tariffs kick in. Love y'all. Thanks for the show, and shout out to the chat room.
What a tariffs kick in.
Yeah, Drake talking about everybody in on the payola. Where? How?
Right?
Because I was playing it for free. I'm owed a check. Because I played the shit out of them Kendrick songs.
Come on, that shit was on goddamn repeat for a whole fucking month.
UMG, make this right. Apia says, from a legal standpoint, if you sue someone, don't you have to show that you were harmed by their actions and how, and put it somehow in money terms? So if they didn't do X, you would have made so much more money. I can't really see how someone else being number one in the charts harms Drake's beside him being envious. Or that he could prove that he's otherwise would be number one and put a money number on it. Especially that the beef between them gives both of them more exposure, but maybe in America it's different. Lots of things are different in America. I think that's going to be very interesting if the suit doesn't get thrown out. Because my guess is it's just getting thrown out.
Yeah, either he going to dismiss it, like he going to come back and they going to be like, they're going to dismiss it before it goes to trial. It's going to get to trial. They're going to look at it and be like, get this shit out of here.
Yeah. Rona Raphael says, I'm just a simple man drinking my glowine and chilling in Apia's country until the weekend, screaming mustard at random while I cook up something good before a terror strike. Lo and behold, he with no middle names just attacked me. I had my headphones on, brand new shade, ready to petition that Drake can't have the Through the Fire song, and I got shot 4 times. I demand a retraction immediately. My links might be occasionally 8 minutes long, but they work, sir. I'm a professional with a middle name. Don't make me buy you mustard. Meanwhile, your breakdown made me realize why someone I know personally has been celebrating Drake's lawsuit as a gotcha on Kendrick. He didn't vote for VP Harris and claims to be a hip-hop head that hates Kendrick, so for him, Drake won. I didn't expect this battle to expose a closet MAGA, but the more I listen to his reasoning, it's more I wouldn't be surprised if Aubrey met this guy and sued afterwards. Match made in lameness. Hope every Black Guy Tips family had a lovely Thanksgiving or weekend holiday. Got to find a new link. Challenge accepted. Michael says, I literally can't imagine Drake doing anything worse than this for his image. I can't either.
Yeah, it's bad. I've lived through a lot of rap beefs and nobody ever, either you win, you lose, you take your lumps, and everybody just moves the fuck on.
There are honestly people who got killed that it is better. It's better to have died reputation wise for those people than Drake suing people. That's crazy. But I agree with Rod. I need this to go to trial so they can do discovery and find out what this weirdo is actually up to. It will be messy, right? EV says, admittedly, I'm no expert on hip-hop history, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say Aubrey suing over Not Like Us is the most bitch-ass thing in the history of rap since it came out 50 years ago. Yeah, I agree. I honestly think this could have gone awry, but now it's not for his actions. He spent the past months trying to prove to everyone he's unbothered, when in fact he clearly is. Right, he's suing people bothered. He been doing all this posting and subliminal passive aggressive bullshit and rapping. He even tried to make a joke about it, like when he rapped over BBL Drizzy. Dog, he is bothered, and his fans are so funny on social media if they're real people, because they flow with him in lockstep like a cult. Meaning, when he was pretending to be unbothered, they were the ones being like, y'all so pressed, he's obviously unbothered, he doesn't care about this, it's not a big deal. Till now he's suing UMG, and they're like, this man is suing on the behalf of artists everywhere to take down the system. He is the most dangerous man in the game, and he must be stopped, and we must support him. At all cost. Freedom fighter Drake.
Come on, freedom fighter Drake. You're right.
He is the most bothered, unbothered person I've ever seen. Between the subliminal social media messages, him releasing videos no one cares about, and now his lawsuit, he making himself look like such a loser. If he would have gracefully taken his L and went on vacation and came back with a dance hit, people would have moved on as well. But his ego wouldn't let him, and now he's going outside. I'm almost embarrassed for him, but he's had this coming for a while. You know what I wonder? If he, because a lot of people say what you're saying. I'm not sure I agree. If he really did take his L, take a break, and come back, I feel like Kendrick would still be waiting to pop on his ass. Like just popping out. Like, you thought it was over. I hate you for real for the rest of my life. It's not a joke.
Forever.
Like for everyone else, they thought I was gonna move on. But Kendrick's been clocking who even tried to be neutral. Like Kendrick talking shit about Snoop Dogg on this song, on this album. Cause he's like, nah, nigga, it's not neutral. All y'all trying to be friends, fuck y'all too. So I don't even know I don't know that there was a way out for Drake that meant Kendrick wouldn't be on his ass. And I think as long as Kendrick's on him, you know what? Here's the thing. What he could have hoped for is if he just accepted it and moved on, and then Kendrick hopped out on him again, and then we went, come on, Kendrick, it's been 2 years. Because that does happen with people. There are people that, even though you're right, there's enough hate where they be like, nah, we're not going to keep doing that. But I don't know. Maybe this environment isn't like that. I mean, how many of y'all still shitting on Elon James Whiteness? Been 17 years on that Thanksgiving shit. Like, so I don't even know. Maybe we wouldn't move on. Maybe Kendrick's just a sign of the times.
Possibly.
Him Deal says Drake is a whole ass bitch. A lawsuit, there ain't nothing he can say right now, but I'm a jealous bitch and admit it to our face. He don't understand how this rap thing's supposed to go. He just visited and shit got hot. He called the cops for his Karen ass behavior because he's not like us. He is a whole ass white woman. He keeps showing us he ain't part of the culture. And let's see, on YouTube, we got 4 comments. Someone just put a link. Lawyer reacts to Drake's shocking not like us streaming fraud claims. They must be trying to promote their channel or something. I don't know. Feel Good says the downfall of the 3 bigs of YMCB is crazy. Young Money. The numbers are there for them, but the way they all have handled adversity has been terrible. The end of an empire in real time. Yeah, I guess if you look at it, Lil Wayne, Nicki, and Drake, they all kind of came and went. And the way they are going out has been like really pathetic. Shree Hill says, my people, Dippin' Dots is so disgusting and I never got it. Shout out to you for being a Dippin' Dots truther like us. Damien says, you may get hit with a cease and desist, but your next viral clip is from 3/6/19 to 3/6/37. Okay, let's see if I can pull this up. I'll try to put it on screen, but y'all might get a little feedback, so give me a second to work on that. And then share my screen with everyone. 36:19 is what he says. It says our next viral clip. All right, let's see. I'll submit it and see if it works. Here we go. UMG and Spotify if you're Drake. Instead of rapping, instead of getting in the booth, instead of ignoring it. It's not skim bitch. It's not low fat bitch. This is 100% grade A vitamin D whole bitch. For him to do this shit. Okay, all right, I'll submit it to him. Maybe it will go viral. We'll see. And then the poll was, do you think?
Oh no, I don't want tears all in the comments.
I don't care. I don't even really care about the comments on our shit.
That's hilarious.
I did see someone that took one of your comments about the white supremacist online movement aping a lot of the language and tactics of Black Lives Matter, and 2 people missed the whole fucking point. I didn't respond to both of them, but one person on Twitter was like, that is not where it was invented. Look up the Klan, like, you know, because they always got to be condescending. Also, like, which I never understand. Like, if you're a fan and you listen to the show, why be condescending about it? But whatever. But your clip obviously it can't have the full context of a 2-hour conversation, but the clip wasn't you saying they did white people weren't being white supremacists and rallying and doing shit until Black Lives Matter started. That's such a misunderstanding of even the clip itself.
A purposeful misunderstanding.
That it feels like either it's on purpose or you're obtuse. Like there's just not an in between line where I could be like, oh no, you that's one way to look at it. It's like Karen didn't say this didn't happen. So like one person said, no baby, there's nothing new under the sun. Go research 1898 Reconstruction era. They've been doing this to us / the country for centuries, unfortunately. Obviously if they listen to the show, we talk about that. But secondly, there was nothing in that clip that was like, they've never done this before. And then the other person said something on TikTok. Anyway, I just found that to be interesting. But yeah, it's why I can't even get too attached to the commentary, because half the time it's conservative people mad that we're talking about anything.
Right.
And then the other times it's just people that, don't really seem like they dig or listen to the show. They just saw a clip online and reacted to it.
Yep, it popped in their feed.
The poll. Do you think UMG and Spotify boosted Not Like Us streams? Yes, Drake has a case. No, Drake does not have a case.
Drake does not have a case, child, because I played it 50 million times just by myself.
88% of people say he does not have a case. 12% say he does. I guess we'll see in court, but I think that 12%.
If it gets to court.
I think those 12%, if they don't make it to court, they owe us an apology. Write in and say, I was wrong. I was one of the 12%. All right, y'all, let's get to the voicemails. We got some voicemails coming through, too. Voicemail 704-557-0186 is the voicemail line. We got 3 callers this week. Allegra's first.
Hello, you two. It's Allegra. I was just listening to the Public Intellectuals, your feedback episode, and Rod, you responded to my call. This is Allegra. I'm sure you figured that out by now. But in any case, yes, you are absolutely correct. What you're saying makes a lot of sense. Your response to me was it was the percentage of loss that Kamala had that makes the difference, and that people who said they were going to vote for her did what they said they were going to do. And I agree. Those are not the people that I'm calling liars. I 100% agree with your take in that, and not even take, the facts behind it. That the people who are coming behind it now and being like, should have did this and should have that, and trying to throw stones and blame people and blah, 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 blah. Those people are the people that I'm annoyed with. Those people who are like, and America's not like this. Wake up, guys. This is it. That's what I'm angry about. So I just wanted to clarify that. Thanks, guys. And I appreciate all your hard work and time and energy that you put into all this. And that you took 3 hours and 3.5 hours, I think, is the length of this to respond. Thanks.
Thank you, Allegra, as always. And yeah, I feel you. Those people are liars, and I am upset with them, and I'm going to be upset with them forever in a way that means that I probably can't have these conversations with them. Not that I was ever the person that was inclined to have these conversations with those type of folks, but I think I just, for their benefit more so than mine,
right?
I think I have to divorce myself from the idea of talking to these people about the autopsy of the election, because I've had to just almost basically unsubscribe from so many shows in the wake of the election, because I can't, and it's just, I'm in an emotional place. I can't take anything but the vigorous truth. And a lot of that in America to people looks like we're not talking about what white people voted for.
Right.
And if we're going to say what they voted for, we're not going to say it's any of the vile, disgusting stuff Trump represents. We're just gonna say it's like a general disdain with the economy. I can't, and I don't know how people can, and with any level of honesty. Like, I get it, and look, the spaces these conversations happen, maybe if I was on them, I would have to talk like these people. We just happen to own our space. We happen to have a very black audience and black space that is dedicated to us being us. So I don't have to worry about, like, is my show getting canceled if I come out here and be like, man, white people racist and they wanted this.
Right.
White people are sexist and they wanted this. Mm-hmm. I don't have to worry about that. So I can just say it plain and move on and have peace of mind. Whereas, you know, I've seen what happens when people even touch the truth, you know, and like, honestly, you know what the most fake brave bullshit is, to me, especially on our side, it's so fake fucking brave. And it's so tepid and weak. It is this, hey man, I tell it like it is. I even talk about the Democrats. Okay, and nigga, that's not nothing special.
No, that's not special.
That's the default in America. You didn't touch a third rail. No one's kicking you out. The Democrats are the people that let you stay in after criticizing them. Mm-hmm. If you really want to be like that, one of them ones, go criticize the people that's death threatening people and shit. Right. Talk that shit then. Stop trying to be so sympathetic and empathize with these motherfucking racists and haters. They not gonna do shit. The ones on the Democrat side, they not don't bomb threat you. Mm-hmm. You gonna be able to walk down the street. Mm-hmm. You could call Kamala Harris all kinds of names. You call Barack Obama every type of sellout. Barack Obama will still be a decent man, shake your hand and let you disagree with him.
Right. Barack Obama rights.
Barack Obama invite his critics to the White House. Barack Obama sat across from Ta-Nehisi Coates, knowing Ta-Nehisi Coates was not gonna give him that fair of a shake, and was like, "It's cool. He gonna write about me in the book, and it's gonna be fucked up to me, but I'm gonna be upset by it. But I'm just moving on." They don't destroy people. They don't make it their goal to like sick their people on you. So it's fake. It's fucking fake when people are like, "Hey man, I'll fucking say it. Let me tell you, the Democrats the real problem." Okay, nigga, you not okay. You didn't do shit.
Anything special.
Go out there and talk that shit. You know, go rally, go to them Trump rallies and do that shit. Right. Man, I know it's fake. It's fake bravado. Anyway, Blue Wave Rider left us a couple voicemails.
Hey, Rod and Karen, I was listening to the feedback show 3012, and you asked the question, why can't they say what it is? Well, we all know why they can't say what it is. America is still in denial about her original sin, so they will make VP Harris losing the election about everything except what it's really about, the fact that she was the wrong color. I mean, this is the same reason why they're trying to take black history out of so-called American history, but our asses live in America. And they're trying to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion because they want to deny the fact that there was ever any racial difference in America. So I hope that makes sense. I got some more stuff to say about episode 3009 where you were talking about Trump and his tariffs, because we've been down this road before. But there's a Forbes article I want to reference, and I don't have it in front of me right now. So y'all have a good one. Enjoy the bird. Actually, you'll probably hear this after Thanksgiving, so I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Peace out. Bye.
Now, he did call back.
Hey, Rod, there something else I remembered talking about episode 3012. I've been hearing some of these idiots like Carville and James Carville and Bernie Sanders talking about Democrats and identity politics. Well, newsflash, if you're talking about liberal and conservative, those are identities. If you're talking about working class, that's an identity. So whenever you're talking about a subgroup of a larger group, that's an identity. Hey, newsflash, white is also an identity. Mm-hmm. And while we're on the subject, what do these white people mean when they talk about the Democrats need to appeal to working class? Because if you black and you punch a time clock, you working class. If you black and you fill out a timesheet on somebody else's job, you working class. So why don't they just say what they really mean? All right, I'm done now.
Thank you, Blue Wave Rider.
Yep. Yeah, we've always said that, particularly about Bernie Sanders, and that's why we were saying that he will never get the Democratic nomination, because he just will not cater towards black people, black and brown people. He won't come out and be like, hey, like he'll come real close and then he'll pivot. Well, when niggas is like, yeah, we're part of that class too, and if you don't want to say it, we'll assume the default is whiteness.
Yeah, I mean, my thinking on Bernie has soured so far at this point. I don't even know that it can go further down. He left me with no choice but to believe he is a craven coward politically, and that he knows the environment he's speaking to, and he has just chosen to go after the white rage vote, or not even vote really, because he doesn't really want their votes, but the support, and he just amps it up because he knows it's a real thing in America. And many people in a land that is so capitalistic, they've been starved from socialist ideas as far as like politically, even though we have many socialist ideas in action. Obamacare is one of them. But it's such a taboo third rail bad word or whatever, that there's people that feels like it's revolutionary to say here's a socialist cult of personality icon. Not Bernie Sanders. He's our socialist cult of personality guy. If you want to prove you're a good person, you just go, but Bernie, right? Because Bernie's the best. And I'm okay with that. I like that. I thought his message was important. But when I seen how quickly he is to pivot to like, we're never talking about race and gender in America. Fuck that. The only time I'm even bringing it up is to just make y'all shut up about it when I go, but I marched with King. Yeah, but then you've been on the other side of every other black political figure since. Like when you march, King's dead, so he can't speak to it. When you march with King, was you somewhere being like, but it's really more about the economics, right, Dr. Martin Luther King? And he's like, I don't know, the dog is biting my arm right now. Can you maybe wait till they turn the water hoses off and then we can talk about the fucking economy again? But, once again, I get why people glom onto him. It's safe. He will never talk about this shit for real. So you get to be like, that's my guy. And he don't ever make anyone feel too uncomfortable. But I'm at a point now where I'm like, a good leader in America gonna have to talk about this shit at some point.
Yes, you are.
And your lack of wanting to talk about it when you're a motherfucker that's never gonna win is weird to me.
Right.
Because you never gonna win, so you might as well be like, I would love to hear his rage one time really focused on the racial and misogyny, like some of the other problems in America. We all get the economy's fucked up. We all hate the fact that rich people are fucking us all over. We can all agree, and I get that. But he knows he gonna lose some of the room if he comes out there and says a little bit more truth, which is like, a lot of this shit is about racism.
Yes, sir.
A lot of y'all don't want to vote in the way that you should vote, because when I tell you about the economy, y'all will be like, yeah. But when I'm like, and also black people and women and LGBTQ people are going to get some benefits from me being in office too. All of a sudden, I know some of y'all leave the room, and I'm too scared. I'm too scared to watch y'all leave the room, so I'm going to pretend like everybody else's issues are identity politics except for white working class voters. Right. And I don't like it.
Nope. Like I said, and you never gonna win, so fuck it.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you do it? When he said he couldn't think of reparations, but this nigga could think of he had every other pie in the sky ass like Medicare for all idea. But I'm like, but reparations is crazy? You couldn't even consider that? I'm not even saying you gotta do it. It's weird that you wouldn't be like, you know what? I'm gonna think about that. The motherfucker's like, look, we're going to tax the 1% and we're going to get all the money back. Okay. Minimum wage, $90 million a day. All right. Reparations, are you niggas out of your mind? Get out of the room. What's wrong with y'all? Beat it. That's crazy. Anyway, last voicemail, and I don't know who it's from.
Rod, Karen, this is Christoph.
Chris.
Love you guys. Always. I was just thinking. I can't remember the last time I went. I love Drake, but I can't remember the last time I went through a Drake album and just reran it from start to finish because I wanted to hear the song. Like, I love Drake, and I can't remember the last time I did that. Since GNX has been out, I've watched a multitude of album reviews of GNX, listening to the album front to back. I've independently listened to this album from front to back more than 10 times since GNX has been out. I'm just like, Kendrick is the GOAT, yo. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Got it.
He's listening to it now. Yeah, Christoph, it is funny because I would not consider myself a person that was like, I wasn't going to live in denial. And so a lot of people kind of, that the Drake hater type, a lot of them kind of just lived in denial where it's like, he's not good and no one likes him and da-da-da. I'm like, no, it's obvious. The motherfucker is literally running hip hop for 10, 15 years. It's been if not the longest run, I can't think of what was a longer run on top to him.
Right.
Because everybody else seems to have had like a time and then just, another motherfucker popped up. But bro, no one's ever taken an L like this badly. This the worst I've never seen someone take an L this bad. And I don't mean like just in the way, I don't mean what the loss was so bad, which it was. I mean, the way you take your ass whooping is where you learn a lot about people.
Yeah, about their personality, yes.
I grew up in a neighborhood where you had to fight sometimes. Not necessarily every day, not everybody, but at least as a boy in my neighborhood, I don't know how the fuck you were supposed to make it out of our neighborhood and you ain't fight nobody. I knew I was gonna get in some fights, and I never really wanted to get in fights.
Right.
I wasn't a bully. I'm a bit of a smart ass, but I have, that whatever hyper vigilance or whatever that makes me be like, hey, leave that person alone or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's not I was ever looking for trouble, but I knew trouble was gonna find my ass eventually. I was gonna have to fight somebody. That's just what it was. It's nothing to be proud of or ashamed of. Dog, when you get in a lot of fights, sometimes you get your ass whooped. It's not always a win. It's not a movie. Okay? It's real life. Some days you have a bad day. Some motherfuckers just better at fighting than you. Sometimes the matchup is everything. I'm left-handed. A lot of people don't realize it till they get in southpaw and they be like, oh shit. I've never been punched from that direction before. I didn't even know to block that.
I didn't see that coming.
So all of that to say this, how you take that L mean a lot. If you just play pickup basketball, it means a lot. Sometimes you and your boys go out and y'all win all the games every day and you feel great. But how the people lose matters too. And when you take your L, which you will run into somebody that's just better at basketball than you or whatever.
It's a part of life.
If you be out there complaining about every call, yelling on the sideline, hating on the people that beat you, it just says so much about you. If you give someone a hard foul and they keep playing, but then when they hard foul you ready to go call the police, we learned a lot more about you than whether you won or lost that game.
Yes, we did.
And I feel like that's
a lot more about your character.
This Drake shit has been like, he flagrantly fouled somebody, then they flagrantly foul him back, and then he went and got the fucking court monitor to be like, kick them out.
You be like,
and then the court monitor was like, bro, what you doing? He was like, I'm calling the police. I have 911 on the phone. You're going to jail, buddy. That's what he did.
Yes, he did. And they were like, but it's a game. We do not need, you get 5 fouls, sir. What are you talking about?
Right.
He's like, no.
That's what Drake did. Drake called the motherfucking police during a pickup basketball game. What during some shit that he started and participated in.
Yes, he did.
When they look at the security footage, they gonna see you undercutting Kendrick on a layup, and then they gonna see him rushing sickle your ass coming down the court, and they gonna be like, why the fuck did you call us? Y'all both was out here. This was a fight, and you acting like you got assaulted.
Yes, you acting like he attacked you out of nowhere.
Right. We trying to do you the favor of not filing this assault charge, because if you go to court, they just gonna play the footage and be like, oh, so you a whole bitch. Anyway, I hate it had to be the boy, but it is. All right, last segment, emails. All right, let's get to these emails. Feedback on feedback. This is from DH, who says, greetings, GOAT times 2. Karen is on point about the so-called blue states changing to red. I'm in Cali, and we have more red cities than blue cities, and this past election lost some blue seats to red, which means, like Karen stated, the South can come to a blue state near you.
Yes!
Rod's passionate explanation about the election truth is that whites that did this to this country and stopped making excuses to let them off the hook was 100% facts. They throw a rock and hide behind a tree, and you see them hiding in the rocks by their feet, but the person on the opposite side of the street gets blamed despite seeing and knowing the obvious truth and facts. I'm done with the Dems and switching to independent this week. Lastly, white folks only want an old white male to be president of this country henceforth. They didn't want a full white woman. They didn't want a full Indian woman as a GOP nominee, and they didn't want a black woman with 2 heritages that they won't vote for a woman in the U.S., period. See, that's the part that I think is so interesting, that once again, y'all can keep trying to talk around it, but Nimrata was on that motherfucking Republican ticket against Trump. And she actually had some level of professionalism, some policies, and some intelligence. They looked her in her face and said, hell no, bitch. We don't want you. So this idea that it's something else, that like, oh, no. You just put a competent woman. We would vote for like a different kind of woman. Dog, she was a full-blown Republican woman. You know, like she was what y'all said could be him. It's not really about him. They just need to, nah, dog, they don't want no woman.
They don't want no woman because both of the women that lost to him were overly qualified.
Yeah, it's not close.
Nope.
Lastly, white folks came to vote like the scene in the Chris Rock movie where he was running for president, Bernie Mac was his campaign manager. I can't watch that movie ever again because it's become full reality, even though Rock won in the movie. Thank you both for the excellent content you provide, and I will be subscribing to your paywall soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paula says, oh man, this is just Paula and Jeff. I just need to shout y'all out. This is not even something y'all wrote in for the show.
Okay.
But remember I told y'all I have done something where I messed up, and there was a way to, when there was like on certain pages when you started to be like, I would like to register and be a Black Friday premium member. It was like not showing the option, and then I fixed it. So now it shows the option. I don't know what happened. I don't know why that happened, whatever, but it's fixed now. 2 people at least signed up for the full price, like $150 a year premium. And I said, hey, if that happened to you, email me. I want to give you your money back.
Right.
You wanted to sell, and here's the $50 back. But 2 people wrote in, Jeff and Paula, and said, keep it. I don't want the money back.
Oh, that's sweet.
Wow. That really touched my heart. That's very nice of y'all. You did not have to do that, and I did not. It was not like a trick.
Yeah, it wasn't done on purpose.
Yeah, like I that's just very nice of you guys. It's very nice. And so because of them, and I believe Mary did this as well, and I hope I'm not crediting the wrong person, but I think our girl Shoe Booty already did this. But Shoe Booty's, she already did this. But there, you can also like give somebody a premium subscription. Okay, so there's people that have given us, they paid for a premium like Black Friday deal, and if somebody was like, hey, I want one, we can just give it to them. So I'm gonna take the $50 from each of y'all, which adds up to another $100, which is another Black Friday subscription. If there's somebody out there that wants to get behind a paywall, they just can't afford it for whatever reason. Maybe you have been behind a paywall, but financially you had to cancel or something. 2 people at this point, because like I said, Mary and then these 2 people. If you email me, theblackouttest@gmail.com, and it's just random, maybe first come first served. I don't know. It might not. Yeah. At least 2 people.
Yeah, we might shake up.
We'll let you behind the paywall. Just email me, theblackouttest@gmail.com, because I want to pass on that sweet gesture that both of those people just did. Grand Rising King and Queen. Steven says, see, brother, the diagonal cut signifies the pyramids, and it tastes better because it connects you to your ancestors. See, he's talking about how you cut a sandwich diagonally. It tastes better.
It does. It's something about the triangle.
See, in Kemet, or as the white man calls it, Egypt, our people knew that the equal size of the pyramid aligned with the high calling of the gods. Therefore, your pyramid-shaped sandwich points to your taste buds directly to the other realm. Peace and love, Stephen X from Baltimore. Thank you, Stephen.
Grand Rising to you, too.
Appreciate that. That makes sense to me somehow. Quinn Epiphany feedback. Janella says, oh my God, Harley Quinn and Barbie are the same person.
Yes, they are.
I didn't catch that at all till you said it. This is not sarcasm. Glad to help, Janella.
Glad to help. And yes, we're glad we solved that mystery.
Raphael says middle names unite on Rod. First of all, I like to say I love Rod and Karen. We go way back. They are great people. The best of the best. Oh, I already know this is going somewhere bad. The best of the best in the podcast industry. However, I've been right about this all along. No. You're not going to roast me and then have me playing the sound effects till you talking bad about me. No, I won't help. You don't have to do this a cappella, nigga. My very good friend Apia and I, whom I met in person just this morning in time before the recap episode, got that Xmas special for the Blackout Tips Nation just in time for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and don't think we forgot about our Islamic and Sikh brethren. All your holidays matter to us. That's why we dropped the one holiday to celebrate them all packaged together live in Frankfurt with the biggest names in Europe performing. Black Europeans can sing too. Before Rod starts to hate, remember now, Apia got a middle name. We sticks together. Get your tickets now. Ask Rod for details. If he's ain't hating, he'll share. Don't keep it all to yourselves, Rod. Here's more proof. If anyone wants to buy that banana in the photo, it's art by my kid. Holla at me. I'm on Blue Sky. I'll give you the Blackout Tips discount. Love y'all, the Blackout Tips Nation, especially the best podcast in the world, Rod and Karen Morrow. Cheers, Ronan Rafa, another of my tribe's persons, also listen to Blackout Tips. Can't do it. Mustard. And so he sent this picture because he was in Germany this week, and so he got to meet Apia, and they took a picture together
in the future.
In the future in Germany.
Oh, that's adorable.
Got his little baby in the picture with him.
Oh.
And I think there's another one too. Let me see if I got. Give me 1 second. I think they took 2 pictures. Yeah, and okay. The other one is, and that's the banana that his kid is holding.
Oh.
So I'm guessing this the banana that is for sale.
Everything's for sale, ain't it?
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, that banana is gone.
Ain't it gone?
They ate that banana. Don't you give him no money, okay? You gonna be bananaless and looking. But that's so dope. I'm glad y'all got to meet up together. And what a small world, what a big world at the same time.
Yes,
2 of our faves. And now I feel like you can count him as your black friend. I would count him if I was you.
Yeah, I would count him too. You met him in person.
Yeah, that count to me. But that's just my curve. Chores, etc. John says, good morning, Rod and Karen. Rod, I love your idea of making chores fun by turning the main equipment into toys. If they had taken an old school black vacuum cleaner, put a digital red light on the face of it, and had it play the Knight Rider theme song, I would have totally been into that, right?
Child.
I would have been vacuuming around the house. Dun-it, dun-it, Like,
yeah, they'd be like, Jam is truly outrageous. Chad, I'd have been, Jam is my name. I'd have been all over that goddamn house.
yeah. But I feel like they got vacuum cleaner toys for girls. I feel like they got those.
All right.
I don't think they got that kind of shit for boys. But they should.
Child, yes, they should. Make it a whole bop.
Right. Y'all really, maybe they exist and I don't know it because I don't have kids. But they really ain't made a like easy bake oven for one of these fucking famous man chef guys yet. That feel like a layup.
A Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, it feel like a layup. Like it should be a Gordon Ramsay fucking like get your ass in the kitchen too, nigga.
Yes,
like,
a whole set.
All right, get your boy ass in the kitchen and make some food too.
Come on, apron set, everything.
Yeah. Now, of course, I don't know that I go with Gordon Ramsay just because your kid gonna be in there cussing people out
and yelling at everybody. You gonna wake up, they gonna be yelling at their brothers and sisters.
Right, they gonna be getting whoopings and shit. You gonna get kids
this
fucked
souffle
up.
sucks.
Right.
What is wrong with you?
Are you an idiot sandwich? And it's like, okay.
Yeah, you gonna have brawls at the house. So wrong person, I'm sorry.
The one upside of people using AI for more shit is I imagine we will get some hilarious AI scripted public apologies from celebrities after they do something racist. We will look back and say, at least Aquafina wrote that shit herself. I'll tell you what. I know I'm the last and only Aquafina truther, and I'm okay being the black Aquafina truther. I don't give a fuck about y'all. But it's so funny because when she said that, that was from her soul. That's one of the most realest apologies or explanations we're ever gonna get. These like things where they know what to say, them be the ones where I be like,
She was caught off guard by that statement.
You had that one a little too ready to go.
She was not prepared.
That motherfucking she was
her brain was ticking. Yes,
she was trying to work her way through that shit. I can't say it was fake, even if it was unsatisfactory.
It was not fake.
You know, I'm open to the conversation. I think it, you know, it really is something that I think is a little bit multifaceted and layered. And so, yeah.
Respect. Respect. I understand, sis. You wasn't ready, and you will never be.
And I'm not even mad at her.
The way I would have looked at my publicist, like, you gonna get this nigga out of here? Like, without saying it, but with my eyes would have been like, this is what we doing? We just gonna let this question happen at the Disney press junket? That's just happening? We supposed to be talking about something else. Okay? Legend of Shang-Chi is what we promoting, right? Not my album. Okay, that was a long time ago. I don't rap no more. Let's stop this.
Child, you gonna be like Michelle. They don't come back for the break. They're gonna be like, she is gone.
Yep.
Yes.
Boy, Drake really did ask to speak to the manager with his lawsuit, didn't he? I don't know how he thinks this makes him look any better. He seems so out of touch with how to rehabilitate his image. After all this stuff, what's next? Will he announce Clarence Thomas as his lead counsel? I don't know, man. What are you gonna do? He gotta go full white boy on him, I guess. Oh, shit. I guess suing is full white boy. I don't know what's left.
What else is there to do?
You know what's left? He could go MAGA. That might be the way out for him. If he goes full MAGA, it'd be like, fuck these blacks. I never liked them anyway. You right. I'm not like y'all. He might be able to salvage some self-respect. If he goes full MAGA. MAGA Drake is not something I want to see.
I don't want to see it either.
It might be the way out. Motherfuckers be performing with Post Malone and Jack Harlow again. People like, nah, I'm making country music now. Fuck them blacks.
Start getting his hair cut at Supercuts.
I was never like them anyway. They said it.
I was pretending.
Right. Oh, man. Episode 3014. Lisa says, hi, Rod and Karen. Regarding Karen swearing in front of children at the Hornets game, Karen, I'm about to make a confession that'll make you feel better. When my now 16-year-old son was 2, I was driving with him in the backseat when another driver cut me off. Like any self-respecting former LA driver, I yelled out, fuck you. A few seconds later from the backseat, I heard my toddler say, no, fuck me, mama, no, fuck me.
That's hilarious.
Parent of the Year award right here. By the way, good moms say bad words. Love and appreciate you both. Lisa W. from Colorado.
That's hilarious.
That's I'll be out here riding with the kids. We did get one item in the mail.
Yay!
So you know our mailing address, theblackguywhotips@gmail.com. I'm sorry, I'm saying this wrong. One, our wish list. I think this is from our Amazon wish list. You can go get that in the show notes of every episode. It's that easy. As far as our mailing address for people like Christmas cards and stuff like that, that is on our website, theblackguywhotips.com/about. Scroll down, you'll see it. We appreciate y'all.
We do.
And we'll make sure that we get that get whatever it is you're sending us. All right, now let me open up this package, see what we got from. I'm assuming this is from the Amazon wish list, but who knows? It just came in an Amazon box.
Right.
Okay, I already see on the thing it says sold as a set, and it says Ro and Mo. Okay, let's see what Ro and Mo done got us up in. Ooh, let me tell you something, okay? They put the motherfucking tape on this.
Oh, do you need the other cutter? Or you got
I'm a man. I can figure it out.
Okay.
You know, I'm strong. I've been lifting weights. I know how to rip a little bit of plastic. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, you done got them thunder thighs. Now you think you somebody.
Thunder thighs. All right, cool. Like I got this open. First of all, this looks expensive. It looks fancy. I don't even know. This is definitely something Karen put on the list. Let me see.
He said it's something. I don't know. Did it come with a note or something?
I don't see a note yet, but give me a second. Oh, okay. These look like some type of soup or serving bowls. Let's say Rowan Mo Patterson, dishwasher safe, microwave safe, freezer safe, and oven safe. Finally, because I hate when I get something fancy and then the motherfucker be like, you can only wash this with a soft toothbrush. I'm like, what?
And you be taking pictures and stuff, so give you a pretty bowl to take pictures of food and stuff in.
Yeah, but they're like maybe serving dishes or something. All right, let me put this back in the box, the packaging, because the styrofoam gonna be falling all over everything. Inside it says ceramic soup and side bowl. Oh, so you can put the soup in there, and then if you have like some toast or some bread to dip it in, some crackers, you put that in this area, and the soup being here. You right. I can take good pictures with this.
Yeah, so you don't have to have two separate things. That's what I was thinking when I put it on the list.
And then the note in the thing is, cause Karen will buy stuff for the kitchen even though she don't cook. She bought some spice today.
Me helping you, I'm benefiting you.
Yeah, she bought some spice today for some type of shit, and I'm like, you not gonna cook. So
I sure like.
Why are you spending money on spices you'll never use?
Nope, but you
I got
will.
so many spices in here I just need to throw away. It doesn't say who sent it. It just says gift receipt. I don't know if they chose to be anonymous or if they just left your note out.
Left the note part blank.
I'll take one more look through the box to see, but
yeah, because I think
there's no note. Whoever sent this, and I'm sorry that they didn't put
a message.
Because I love to give you your credit if you wanted it. And if you want to write in and say it was me, we'll definitely make sure you get your credit. But I don't see it in either box, so I'm sorry whoever sent this that they didn't. They normally put a note with it unless you say not to. Which you may have said not to. It doesn't say anonymous on here either, but thank you.
So we get to take some pretty pictures.
And I don't need the gift receipt. I'm keeping this shit. I love a soup, okay?
This is the time of the year for a good soup.
I'm a big soup proponent.
A good rice dish.
And I'm also a good plating proponent. So I love to plate some shit, okay? So I appreciate you, whoever sent that. Thank you very much. And, somebody already want that free subscription. So we got one person already getting behind the paywall. So first come, first serve. About to say, if you're hearing this, it's probably too late for everybody else. But all right, y'all. That's it. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll be back throughout the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good